slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you want.
One of the top questions I get regularly on RunDreamAchieve.com as well as here on the channel is, how long should my long run be? Okay, my answer to this is really going to be it's all going to come down to what is your particular chosen race. Okay, if you're training for a 5K, and whether it's on the roads or on the track, you don't need to be going out doing 20 to 24 mile long runs. Okay, for a 5K athlete, I would recommend a long run of around 9 miles. Okay, the reason why I say that is because you're tripling the distance of your goal race. Think of how much stronger you're going to be as a 5K athlete if you extend that long run out to say around 9 to 10 miles, out to around 16 kilometers. Because again, it's not just about training fast. It's also about spending more time on your feet, building that endurance, building that stamina, more so endurance than stamina. You're going to build stamina, mainly stamina and strength, from those speed workouts, from the track, the hill repetitions you're doing, those hard sprints like repeat 100s, repeat 400s on the track. But as a 5K athlete, 9 to 10 miles is solid for a long run. If you're training for a 10K, around 12 to 14 miles, I think, is key. Again, you're running much further than your goal race, and again, that's going to help you out psychologically. But it's also important, as I mentioned in other videos, if you're a new viewer of this channel, a new subscriber, I'm a big believer in faster, varied pace long runs. Not every single weekend. I don't want you doing that every weekend. It's going to be very difficult for you to recover. You'll more than likely burn out if you try to run fast during your long runs every single weekend. Always alternate. Okay, the regular viewers, regular subscribers of this channel definitely know I always teach that. My training plans, the running courses that I've created, I go very in-depth on long runs and the importance of getting beyond just running slow and easy long runs every weekend. So, and these types of strategies help me run 50-54 for 10 miles, 107.06 for the half marathon, 144.05 for 20 miles, which I still think is probably my strongest performance ever. Those 20 miles at 5:11 mile pace, 107.06 for the half marathon, and 2:19.35 for the marathon. I was humbled numerous times over the years, beaten by several athletes that were at my level, below my level, and much faster than me. So I think it's also important to remember to be humble. You're going to get beat. That's the challenge of the sport. You're going to get tested. But I think in terms of how long your long run should be, you just have to make sure that you stay focused with your training, you stay consistent with your mileage. If you're training for a 10 mile to half marathon, getting that long run out to around 17 to about 18 miles, I think, is key. Because again, if you're a 10 miler, you're running 7-8 miles further. If you're training for a half marathon, you're still running around 5 miles further than your race distance. That is very important. You want to spend time on your feet, spend a much more longer period of time running easy. Just building up to a point where you can run that far is an achievement. Getting out to around 18 miles, okay, it's already hard enough especially when you're not very fit, to just go out and do 8 to 10 miles easy. But then you start running 8 to 10 miles and you're sprinkling in some VO2 max efforts, might be some fartlek efforts throughout that 8 to 10 mile run, and you start running the same distance but running at faster efforts, at anaerobic efforts or VO2 max efforts, and sprinkling in some much easier recovery jog efforts throughout that long run. That is where you start to really build that fitness, that stamina and strength, okay, on top of your endurance that you've built from running easier, relaxed mileage as well. I think in terms of how long should your long runs be if you're training for a marathon, I don't believe going further than the marathon distance really in terms of the long run is going to help you any more than, say, running anywhere from 19 miles to around 24 miles in length. I think really that's the sweet spot for most marathoners, and it was for me. I did get my long run out to 30 miles, and I only did that one time several weeks, about 5 weeks out from the 2011 Monumental Indianapolis Marathon. I did that 30 miler. I still remember at 6:04 mile pace over hills. Okay, I was probably fitter then than I ever have been in my life, but I was covered in salt. I did drop water bottles out, and I was drinking, but I had never done a long run that far. Okay, and I think that looking back, really, that 30 miler didn't do me any better, didn't help me any more than in past training sessions of, say, 20 to 24 miles in length. I always performed my highest right around that particular area. So I think getting out to around 23 to 24 in most cases for the most marathoners is sufficient. Okay, I did several 27 milers. I did some 28 milers in training. Again, just to get beyond the marathon distance. But again, if you're staying focused on your volume, and as a marathoner, if you really want to get to the next level, you have to get consistent over a long period of time. Okay, what I mean by that is, if you're say a 3:45 marathoner and you're trying to get to 2:55 for the marathon, there's going to be drastic changes you're going to have to make in your training. You're going to if in the past you've only done, say, 50 to 60 miles a week, you're going to have to start thinking about, can I do 8 to 10 weeks straight at 100 miles or slightly above 100 miles per week to make that jump? You're going to have to make some massive changes in the training that you're doing. I'm not just talking about volume. Your volume's going to have to go up if you want to drop that much time, but you're also going to have to really focus on your quality. Okay, again, you can be doing 8 to 10 weeks straight at over 100 miles, but if 98% of that is spent at aerobic effort, you're going to be in incredible endurance shape. But when you go down to try to race somebody that's doing 8 to 10 weeks at over 100 miles a week, but they're doing a higher percentage of that volume at a much higher anaerobic effort than you're not going to outrun them. You're not going to be able to sustain their pace in a race. Even if you or the athlete that's doing similar work have similar capabilities, you're going to have a very difficult time handling them in the race because they've trained at a higher intensity. They're going to be able to clear lactic acid more effectively than you are. So that's why I always teach the importance of stressing the different energy systems of the body. Spend some time running all out on the track, doing like 20 100 meter reps all out with full recovery in between each one. Again, you're going to recruit more fast twitch muscle fibers. Your ability to clear lactic acid more effectively and more efficiently over time is going to drastically increase. Because again, you're doing these all-out sprints is not necessarily the type of training that a lot of marathoners focus on. We focus on building endurance, running for long periods of time, running high volume. But if you're training at high VO2 max effort, repeat hundreds, repeat 300s, repeat Ks on the track, repeat 1600s, repeat 3200 meter reps, okay, that's much more volume. But again, if you're running at, say, 3K to 5K race pace, think of how much easier a marathon is going to feel, okay? So I want you thinking about, like I mentioned, if you're more training for the 1500 meter, the 5K, getting out to around 8 to 10 miles is going to make you extremely strong because you're running so much further than your race. The further we go out in distance, if you're, say, training for a half marathon or a marathon, you do want to go a little bit further than race distance, especially for the half marathon. But for a marathon, it's really difficult to go doing long runs and branching those long runs out further than 26 miles because the marathon distance is already so far. Okay, so if you're training for, say, the marathon distance, my recommendation, anywhere from around 19 to 24 miles is really that sweet spot that you really want to focus on. And me personally, even training prior to running 219, that was right around where between 19 and 24 miles was usually right around where I was training my long runs. I would branch my long runs out to. When I ran 226 at the 2011 Monumental Indianapolis Marathon, I lost probably about 3 or 4 minutes off of that time due to a porta-john stop. But again, I was doing long runs that ranged anywhere from 23 up to 30 miles. I was going even further. And I think I was a little bit fitter going into that race than prior to going into my the 2007 California International Marathon, where I ran 2:19. So I think that sometimes if you want to experience going a little bit further than marathon distance, 27, 28 miles, try doing that just once or twice during a 20 to 24 week buildup. Don't get in the habit of doing that routinely, okay? It's going to be very hard to recover from that. Again, it's possible to do that. And again, this also goes back to the maturity of the athlete, okay? If you're a national class or a world class athlete, it is very, I mean, even when I was at my fittest, okay, I was doing that regularly. I was doing 26 to 27, 28 mile long runs every other week, just about, okay? I was, especially during going into the 2011 Monumental Indianapolis Marathon. But again, there's a point of diminished return. So you have to be very smart with these long runs if you're training for the marathon distance. And trying to go further than marathon distance, because there, like I said, there's a point where it's just, you got to think about leverage, thinking about how can I do more with less. Okay, I would much rather do a 20-mile long run and get my result, get my goal result, than do a 30-mile long run and be 10 to 20 minutes off my goal marathon pace or goal pace that I had for myself. So I hope this video is helpful for all of you. Thinking about how long should my long run be. I hope the tactics and strategies and the thoughts that I've mentioned here in this video is helpful for all of you. Definitely check out the resources below these videos, as well as on RunDreamAchieve.com. They're definitely there to help you get beyond what you currently have as your current personal best in your chosen race. And I promise you that these tactics will help you. Also, if you haven't yet, definitely invest in a Fit King compression device. I'll leave the link below for that. It will definitely help you dramatically recover from your long runs as well. I use it myself, I own it myself, and I highly recommend it. So if you have anything else that's on your mind, feel free to leave me a comment. I'll definitely reach back out to you and respond, as you all know. Thank you so much to all my subscribers and all to my new subscribers as well. Thank you for watching my videos, sharing my videos, and liking my videos. I really appreciate that. And I'll talk to you all in the next video.